All right, so with number 19 here, very similar to number 18, we are still finding an equation of the line satisfying the given conditions, and we're writing that equation in slope-intercept form. All right, so again, we've been given a point, and we're told that the line this point is on has a slope that is perpendicular to this given equation. And if you'll recall from earlier in the review series, we talked about slopes of lines that are parallel, slopes of lines that are perpendicular, and then slopes that are zero and slopes that are undefined. And we know that with perpendicular lines, the slopes are opposite reciprocals. And so we're being told then to find the slope of this given equation. So this negative 3x plus 4y equals negative 23. We're told find the slope of this given equation, and whatever that slope is, use the opposite reciprocal and pair it with this given point, negative 3 comma 8. And so let's go ahead and do that. So to find the slope, we're going to go ahead and add 3x to both sides. And that's going to leave us with 4y equals 3x minus 23. And then we'll divide by 4 on both sides. And so now we have y equals 3 over 4x minus 23 over 4. All right, again, we want to put the equation that they give us into y equals mx plus b, into slope-intercept form, because in this form, our m is the slope. And so when it's in this form, we can clearly identify what the slope is. And again, if the slope of the given equation here is 3/4, and we're told that we want to use the perpendicular slope of that, well, we know, again, opposite reciprocal, so that means opposite refers to the sign. And so if the slope that we've been given is positive, we know the opposite is going to be negative. And then reciprocal simply refers to flipping the fraction. So 3 over 4 is going to become 4 over 3, and now this is going to be our slope that we're going to use. All right, so let's go ahead and label our point x1, y1, and we know we're going to be using that point slope form, which is going to be y minus y1 equals m times the quantity x minus x1. So let's go ahead now that we have our x1, y1, we now have our m, So let's go ahead and plug that information into this point slope form and see what we have. So we have y minus y1. Well, what's y1? It's 8. Equals m. Well, what's m? Negative 4 over 3. So negative 4, 3 times the quantity x minus x1. Well, what's x1? Negative 3. All right, so cleaning this up just a little bit, we'll have y minus 8 equals negative 4 over 3 times x, and when we distribute this negative through, we're going to get x plus 3. All right, again, you're probably used to this procedure now. We can either right away go ahead and distribute this negative 4/3 through, or you guys know that I like to clear our fraction, and we do that by multiplying by the common denominator. And we multiply the whole equation by that common denominator. And in this case, our common denominator is 3. So let's go ahead and multiply our equation by 3. And when we do that, we get 3 times y. Well, that's going to give us 3y. Negative 8 times 3 is going to give us negative 24 equals. These 3's cancel, and so we're left with negative 4. And now when we distribute this negative 4 through, we get negative 4 times x. So that's negative 4x, and negative 4 times positive 3 is going to give us a negative 12. All right, so now we're cruising. Now at this stage, we are going to go ahead and start putting it into the form that they ask us, either slope-intercept or standard. And in this case, they ask us for slope-intercept form, so this y equals mx plus b form. So we want to solve for y. So let's go ahead and add 24 to both sides, and that'll leave us with 3y equals negative 4x, and then negative 12 plus 24 is going to give us a positive 12. And let me go ahead and rewrite this equation. All right. And now last step, if we want to solve for y, we'll go ahead and divide by 3 on both sides, and that'll leave us with y equals negative 4 over 3x plus 12 over 3 comes out nicely as just a positive 4. All right, and that is our final answer. Y equals negative 4 over 3x plus 4. All right, so again, we were given a point and we were told to use the slope of this equation, but the slope we want to use is the perpendicular slope. And so what we did was we found the slope of this given equation, which was positive 3/4, and because we want the perpendicular slope to that, we know that the perpendicular means opposite reciprocal, so we ended up with a negative 4 over 3 as the slope we were going to pair with our point negative 3 comma 8, plug that information into our point slope form, and found the equation in slope intercept form.